Hi friends, today we will try and understand basics about income tax, like what is income tax, how to calculate income tax, and how it is different basically from investments and expenditure tax, right? So whatever income tax things that we are going to learn today are basically for the people till the age of 60 years, and the income tax norms change a bit after the people cross the age of 60 years. So today what we are going to learn is basically for the people till the age of 60 years, right? So basically let us first understand what is income. Income is any money that you get by working for somebody, or by direct or indirect sale of goods or services, right? So money that you get by working for somebody is called salary, and money that you directly get by selling something is called income. There are two kinds of tax in India that we need to understand. One is basically income tax, which is basically taken from part of our income as a part of our income. And the second is expenditure tax. Example would be like VAT and CST. When you go to Domino's and you buy a pizza, you pay some amount of tax. That is basically VAT. So you're spending some part of your income to buy a pizza, and you're paying expenditure tax called VAT on that. So it comes under expenditure tax, right? Now we need to understand first of all that everybody is having any kind of income or maintaining any kind of bank account. The person requires to have a PAN card. The PAN card is basically a mandatory compulsion on everybody, so that the government can track your income, or whatever income you're stating to the government can be checked out. They can take it as a proof that what you're saying is right. They can check the details of a bank account and your bank balances, right? So it is basically mandatory for everybody. Now let us understand by using an example, like how we can calculate the income tax. So I have taken the example for monthly income of 1 lakh rupees. So the annual income becomes 12 lakh. 1 lakh into 12 equal to 12 lakh rupees. Annual income, this we are talking about, right? See, the income tax is basically divided into slabs in India. So there are 4 kind of slabs on the basis of which your income is taken into account and calculated for the income tax purpose. Now, assuming for the example that your annual income is 12 lakh rupees, so this slab 0 is basically 0% tax, which is up to 2.5 lakhs. So if your total annual income is up to 2.5 lakhs, you will not have to pay any amount of tax. If your total income is coming up to 5 lakh rupees, pardon me, then you have to give 10% tax as per the total income, because you come into slab 1 also. If a total income is coming up to 10 lakh rupees, then you fall till slab 2, and your income will be calculated on a different basis, 0, 10 and 20% respectively. And if you earn, if your total income is more than 10 lakhs, then you fall under slab 3 also. So the tax calculations will change once again, and it is 10 lakhs to infinity. The fourth slab will start, slab number 3 will start once you cross 10 lakh rupees of income in your total income, annual income, right? So now let us see the calculation. So for 12 lakh rupees, because the first 2.5 lakh rupees is exempted from any kind of income tax, so for the first 2.5 lakh rupees you will give 0%, which is 0 rupees, right? For the next 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees, total of 5 lakh minus 2.5 equal to 2.5 lakhs, you will give 10% tax, which is 25,000 rupees. The second slab number 2 is from 5 lakh to 10 lakhs. So your income is 12 lakhs, so 5 lakh rupees come under slab number 2, which is 20% tax, so it comes to 1 lakh rupees. And slab number 3, more than 10 lakhs, so you have 10 to 12, 2 lakh rupees you have, which is going to be taxable at 30%. So your tax in the slab number 3 will be 60,000. If we add all 3 figures, we get 1,85,000. But there is some tax to be paid on the income tax, which is 3%. So which comes to around 5,550 on the 1,85,000 income tax that you have. So adding up everything, your total tax comes to 190. Right? So now we have done the simple calculation for income tax, and we have reached the figure for 1 lakh rupees, 90,550 rupees. Right? Okay. Now let's proceed further. Now we shall see for how long we have to pay the income tax. For what duration is income tax calculated? Is it calculated on a daily basis, or like monthly, quarterly or annually? So it is basically calculated for one financial year, which starts from the 1st of April of any year. Say here I have taken 2016 to the 31st March of next year, like 2017. So this 1st April 2016 to 31st March 2017 becomes one complete financial year, for which you have to complete and do the calculation and pay your income tax, right? But the income tax is not paid on an annual basis. This is the major trick that the IT Department of India has done. We have to pay the income tax in 4 quarters. The quarters are basically from 1st of April to June 30th, and likewise of 3 months each, 4 quarters we get, right? What we have to keep in mind is that the income tax system in India is basically of advanced income tax. So again, taking the same example, that if income is 1 lakh rupees per month, then approximately for the complete year, the annual income becomes 12 lakh. So we have to calculate the tax on 12 lakhs, and we got the figure of 1,90,550. So we divide by 4, and this figure comes 47,638 rupees approximately, which we have to pay every quarter. Now you will cross question that your income can vary from 1 month to another. That is fine, but like if for the first 3 months you are getting a different figure, you will do the average, and the same average we have to consider for the rest of the 3 months. Then again for the rest of the 3 months, means for every quarter we will take the average of the first quarter. We'll pay the tax on the basis of that. Okay. If for some reason your annual income falls, but if you are assuming that your income of 1 lakh rupees is fixed, and you completely get your 12 lakhs, you do not take any leave in your company, you do not take any off, you go to full 25-26 days a month in your company, you work every month properly, you don't take any leave and anything, and you completely earn 12 lakh rupees, then your income is this. But in some case, if you are earning less than 12 lakhs, say you took total of 15 leaves in 1 year, for which you were not paid, they were not paid leaves, so your income will fall lesser than 12 lakhs annually. So it means that this income, this tax 47,638 that you have put is extra, because you made your income might have come like 11 lakhs 80,000 or maybe 11 lakh 15,000. So you will then fill IT return, in which you will show that for what all months your income was less than 1 lakh, and you will do the calculation once again, and you will say that your income is this much, your new tax should come to maybe 45,000 and you have given 47. So the income tax department will give you the difference in the tax that you have already paid. So this is called income tax return. Now many people have been asking me that why do we need to pay advance tax, and is it not illegal that we have not even earned for the full year, but we have to pay advance tax in the country. So there is one thing that we need to know first, that if we are applying for income tax, right, income tax return I am saying, so whatever income tax return money comes, it does not come to you instantly, it comes to you maybe after 1 year or 2 years. So whatever period the money will be kept with the authorities, with the IT department, they will give you some interest on that, even though the interest is not much, but they will give you some interest on the tax that you have paid, which you should have actually not paid in the first hand, but because of as a part of advance income tax you have already paid that, right? Now we need to consider how we can earn income on our income, further income on income. This is a different concept when we have to understand related to income tax, because income tax is not related to your income, it is also related to your income on income. So here we'll take the first example of a fixed deposit. Suppose whatever income you are having annually, suppose you make one fixed deposit in any of the banks or any private sector company for 10 lakh rupees, and you are getting the rate of interest for 1 year, which is 7.75%. So your total interest that you will be getting will be coming to 77,500, and this is for 1 year, your return for 1 year on an investment of 10 lakhs. So we have to understand that this particular figure of 77,500 is greater than 10,000. So as per the tax norms, this has to be taxable. So 10% of this particular figure as the interest that you have earned on your fixed deposit will be deducted. So 7,750 rupees, okay, will be deducted as a TDS, tax deduction at source, on your fixed deposit interest, right? But if suppose your interest was only say 9,999, then you don't have to pay any tax on your interest, and you can fill a different form saying that the interest is less than 10,000 and the government should not take any tax from that income, right? Now let us take the second example. This second example is basically for investment into stock market. If your investment is assuming say 1 lakh rupees and the time period you remain invested in stock market is less than 12 months, so 0 to 12 months I am taking. If you get any profit on that particular 1 lakh rupees, the profit will be taxable. But if you get any loss, your principal amount will remain same. I mean your 1 lakh rupees will not be taxable. But suppose you get a tax of 10,000 rupees on an investment of 1 lakh rupees in less than 1 year, so the 10,000 rupees profit will be taxable, right? Now take the second case in which I am assuming that you remain invested in the market for a period of more than 1 year or say 12 months. So if you make any profit on 1 lakh rupees, say you earn 10,000 rupees profit on 1 lakh rupees, but your period of investment is more than 1 year or say 12 months, so the profit is again non-taxable in this case, and loss is again non-taxable. So if you bear any loss, if you sell your investment, if you take your money, withdraw your money back from the stock market and you have suffered a loss, you don't have to pay any tax on the remaining principal out of 1 lakh rupees. So this is the other thing. One major rule that we have to understand is out of these examples is that profit is considered as an income and it has to be put under the income tax laws. So we have to pay tax on our profits also, whatever kind of investment we make. Now the third and the final concept that comes is income versus expenditure or investment tax. Say if you are having annual income of 12 lakh rupees and you do total expenses in that particular financial year of 10 lakhs, say you earn 12 lakh rupees and you spend a lot of money on your foods and groceries, you bought a car, you gave a house rent, you spend money in traveling, in your different things. So your expenditure was total 10 lakhs, so your savings is 2 lakhs. So the taxable amount will remain 12 lakhs and it will not be 10 lakhs or 2 lakhs because we are talking about income tax, not expenditure tax. So your total tax will be calculated on 12 lakhs. It does not remain of importance whether you spend 10 lakhs or you spend complete 12 lakhs or you spend 1 lakh. The income is taxable, not the expenditure here, right? There are different taxes on your expenditure like VAT and CST, which I had given you an example, which we will be covering in another video. So stay tuned for that. Now we need to understand one thing, like who is not required to pay tax in India. So it is basically for all kind of NRIs. NRI is a person who works abroad, but after completing the work, come back to India. And for that, the minimum number of days required outside India is 182. So if somebody is working on a contract basis in some foreign country, say USA or say any other country, for a minimum period of 182 days in one financial year, then whatever income that person will have from that country or from the company in that country, he is not required to pay tax for that particular income in India. He might be taxable in that country but not in India. But there is one exception most probably coming soon, that Indian Merchant Navy officers who are so far considered to be NRI, if they complete 182 days outside India, they might fall into the non-NRI category soon because of changes in laws, and they will be required to pay tax. So I think it is most useful for these people who have never had the trouble of calculation and doing the paperwork related to tax to understand what income tax laws are. So I hope, my friends, that this video was useful, and stay tuned for the second part where we will tell you how you can save tax on your income. So how you can increase your income and reduce your income tax. Okay, like and subscribe, share. Bye.